Hi everybody, welcome back to the cabin. Welcome back to Commonwealth. Flipper, thanks for joining us today. You know, we are going to do a video about something that I didn't think I would ever really do a video about today, which is money. We're going to talk about how much money we make just on the reselling side of the business. So, you know, if you were looking for one of those tell-all videos, you know, how much money did YouTube pay me and how much did I make from affiliate marketing and how much did I... That's not what this is today. Like I said, I don't really intend on doing those videos. I think they're kind of fun to watch, but part of it is I don't have a good enough grasp on all of it because I run all the numbers through somebody else. I can't even give you the exact numbers, but I'm going to give you some more specifics than I've typically done, and there's a reason behind it. I get this question all the time. How much, you know, do you make reselling? And I just don't answer the question. But I had a comment the other day, and I get those questions often, but I had a comment the other day that clearly had some misconceptions about some of the things I say, some of the things that I do, and I wanted to address it. Now, if you've been around this show for a while, you know that I often say a lot of the things that I'm going to say today, and I try to make it clear, but it was a little confusing to me that somebody could have those kind of misconceptions because I have said this stuff so many times, but I want to make it a little bit more clear today. The comment that was made, to be honest, was a little disingenuous. It was somewhat, well, it was insulting to some degree, but at the same time, there were some legitimate questions that I knew they were seeking answers to. They weren't just purely trying to be a jerk. They actually had some questions, and I answered those questions on the comment. Went back later to see, because a lot of times people will attack the person who they perceive as attacking me. I want to make sure that wouldn't happen. The comment was gone. So either they deleted it or one of the people who moderate the channel or something deleted the comment. But I thought, you know what, maybe I'll do a video about it. Maybe they'll hear it on here. Maybe a lot of people who are new to the channel. We had, you know, 100 subscribers just the other day on this channel, which is crazy. And I really appreciate it. But I'm going to talk about that. I'm going to talk about some issues that I don't typically talk about, but if you do watch this show, you know that I always show you 4 things first. Speaking of one of the topics, let me say this, because it's going to relate to the topic in just a second. We have 23 items for $661 headed out of here today. Actually, 24 items, because there's a bonanza sale in there as well. And that topic's going to come up in just a couple minutes, but let's show you some really cool sales first. The first sale here, really quick, is if this kind of piggybacks on that last video of things that my wife wouldn't let me sell. I should have said that, you know, like pornography. This is certainly not that. I can get away with it. Barely. This is a Cheryl Tiegs poster. And I bought it off of my buddy. I bought it off of Honest Tim, and he had a bunch of posters, and you couldn't really tell what they were, but I didn't want to open them necessarily, because then they wouldn't be new. But I saw Cheryl Tiegs on there. Miss Tiegs I saw, and I'm like, that's got to be Cheryl Tiegs. And then you could see the signature there, and I'm like, yeah, I'm going to buy that one for sure. And I didn't know what they were worth. I don't even remember what I paid, to be honest, but this one was a good one. Took a while to sell, but it did sell. It sold for $46.55 plus shipping. Next one went to, this might be a viewer, Jason. I think it says repeat buyer, so could be. Although there's a lot of people who are repeat buyers who are not viewers. Quiet Riot, $15 plus shipping. We're doing auctions on these just for fun to kind of get them out, and viewers like to buy them. So there you go. $15 for that one plus shipping. The club head covers are starting to sell, and there's that one right on top. I have 2 bins of those. This is the Margaritaville parrot. Is that a parrot, you know? And that one sold, a club head cover sold for $17 plus shipping. Had to go in to get the next one. It was a VCR, not new, but it was still had the box. I think that's the box that goes with that VCR, I think. Pretty sure. There was one that did, one that didn't. $74 and change, maybe $74 plus shipping on that one. And I'll put that one, this is one that I probably preserve the box by putting it, if I can get over here, you can look at my trash, in one of these right here, so that I'm not putting it in a new box, but I am going to put it in a heavy duty, that's a Craigslist hunter trick that I learned. It's like a giant poly bag is essentially what it is. And it protects it, and it's better than wrapping it in paper, which they don't like, so that's probably what I'll do with that one. So a little bit of context first before we get into it. The comment was something like this. I look at your sold comps. You know, you said at the beginning of the video there was $700 and something, you know, sold today. And I look at your sold comps and it looks like, you know, somewhere between $100, $200 a day, a little over, a little under, you know, sometimes. And I just don't know, blah, 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 you know, and it got a little bit insulting. But they did have some legitimate questions that I wanted to answer. And so I did answer the question. Let me tell you how I answered it first, and then we're going to get into the bigger topic. And if you've listened to the channel, you've heard me say this before, that when I say that number, like I did today at the beginning of the show, I said there's 23 items headed out of here. There's actually 24 for right around $700 headed out of here. First of all, that's the entire gross number, including all the money that came in, you know, not including, you know, including the shipping money that came in, which is going to be reallocated for shipping. And so that is a gross number. But the second thing, and I say it often on here, is that that's not one day of sales. I always say there's that much headed out of here today. In other words, that's how much we're shipping out. Like, for instance, it could be 3 days of sales that total that number. So, you know, if it's shut down for the weekend, it could be 3 days. Or like what has happened lately, which I say this, but I don't often say it before, I say it after. And I mean after we go somewhere. So the last 2 weeks from this person's comment, I shut the store down for 3 days one time and 5 days the other. So almost half the time the store was shut down. One day it was completely shut down. I didn't allow any sales at all. It was an accident. You probably remember me saying that. We went up to the mountains and spent a few days up there. Then we went down to Charleston, South Carolina. My daughter had a meet down there, and we turned it into a mini vacation. A little, you know, some history lessons for the kids since we homeschool. And we went around Charleston and did all that stuff because it is a good history lesson for them, and they enjoy it as well, and we enjoy it. We need a little time off. So I do that all the time. I don't often advertise it for a bunch of different reasons, but we have people come in and watch our house and security stuff and take care of our animals, and you know, there's a lot of crazy people out there. So a lot of times we'll shut down the store, which really affects sales. So there will be days of, I saw a $68 day. I think I saw a day in the last month where there was $50. There was one day where there was $0. And then there are bigger dollars, you know, and I think we had a day where we actually sold like $1,400 worth of stuff. There's, you know, plenty of $300, $400 days. Yesterday we sold $365 days. So we do 3 videos a week. And so if I say, you know, we've got 700 headed out of here today, that could be 2 days. It might even be 3 days. You know, if we go on vacation, it could be a partial vacation day where the store is open, but sales aren't high because it shows that notice that the seller won't be back. So that'll give you a little bit of an idea. We're not trying to skew the numbers, and maybe I should say that every single time, you know, we have this much headed out of here today, but there was this many days of sales. I don't know. I think y'all get it. It seems a little redundant, but I want to clarify it for this person and for others who might have questions, or for the people who look at those sales and get discouraged, like, how does he get so many sales? So, you know, we do 3 videos a week. So if I'm saying $700, that's $2,100 in a week. Actually, that's pretty bad for us. That's below average in a week. So, you know, I'm happy about it because we were gone half the week last week. But 700 in 3 days or 2 days, that's not that particularly good. It's not bad, but it's not amazing. There's tons of people watching this show right now who make far more than that. And that's what I really want to talk about today. I want to mix some of these points I want to make and talk about the numbers while we're doing a few sales. So we'll mix it up here. This is a $15 sale. These are cool. Pizza Hut, Tender Heart Bear from the early 80s, of course, when the Care Bears came out. Probably 83-ish is my guess. And these two, is that cool or what? It's in great shape. These two sold for $15 plus shipping. Now, I could talk about this topic forever because I get passionate about it, because what I try to do, and I hope y'all see this, I think most of you do, is I try to make reselling fun and make it about everybody in the audience, because not everybody is in this to make $200,000 a year. And I've never have been either. I really have never put in more than about 20 hours a week into reselling before I did this full-time, quote unquote. I didn't, and I still don't. I don't put in 20 hours into reselling a week. That's all I put into it. It's really all I ever put into it, even when I was a full-time teacher. Now, if you count all this videoing and whatever, I mean, I could come in here and knock these things out of here and get them shipped out of here. Half an hour max, right? But with all the video and all the editing, it's going to take hours and hours and hours to put this together. But the reselling side of it doesn't take that long, and it doesn't even seem like it because it's super fun. And I want to make these videos for everybody. Hopefully there's some of you, and I've learned so much from a bunch of you, full-time professional resellers, whatever you want to call yourself. I've learned a bunch from you. And, you know, if I were to do this and depend on every nickel and dime from reselling to support my family, I'd put in far more than 20 hours a week. I'd put in 50 to 70 hours a week, and I'd make more money. And I also wouldn't do it quite this way, but this is the way that gives me joy, and I really, really have fun doing it. So there's a bunch of resellers out there who are happy to make $100 profit a month, $200, $500, pay for their kids, you know, I don't know what, like for me, gymnastics or travel baseball like Turner does, whatever it is. And so I try to make this about everybody out there. So I don't blow up numbers to impress people. I don't want to be well, I don't know. I suppose I'd like to make a ton of money reselling, but it's not, you know, my goal isn't to make $500,000 reselling. It hasn't ever been, and it probably never will be. I'm going to show you this sale. I had to grab one out of each of these down here. Look at all those stickers right there. I never get to focus on them, so there you go. And that went to a viewer, $32.95 plus shipping for each of those. And let me read a comment. I shouldn't say each of those, total, not each. Hi from Southern California. Thank you for the offers. I sent out a 5% offer every couple of days on items that have watchers. So that's what they're referring to. We watch your channels all the time and love them. This is a birthday gift for my partner who loves ET and suffers every time he hears you that you've sold one. We have an eBay store, OC Vintage and More. That's Orange County, I'm assuming, right? My parents both grew up in Orange County, Fullerton, and, well, all over the place. Buena Park. They moved all the time, but inside of the county most of the time. I grew up a little farther out in the Inland Empire. Go check it out. He says, P.S. Can you combine shipping? Yes. Although I forgot to combine it the other day on something I said I would, and somebody had to send me a message. So sometimes I forget. If I do, remind me. I see Sophie out there. She's trying to get away from Wallen. All right, let's talk about the actual numbers for a second. If you watch the show, you know the only thing I've ever really specifically said was that I make more net profit than I did my last year as a high school history teacher, and I've told you that number. I made $42,000 a year, which is really, really cheap. We live in a rural area, pretty economically depressed compared to most of the country. I gotta call real quick. I better take it. It was Uncle Steve. I probably shouldn't have taken it. Just wasted 20 minutes, but anyway, all right, let's piggyback on that number, $42,000. So I actually made that a number of times before I quit my job. And let's face it, the real reason I quit my job, you want to know the real, well, there's a bunch of reasons, but one of the things that kind of put me over that hump to say, all right, I can do this, it's this channel. The success of the Commonwealth Picker YouTube channel and the money that was coming in from that. But it was this channel because I wasn't about ready to put my life, my kids' future, you know, in jeopardy and at stake, quitting my job based on an algorithm for YouTube and a Commonwealth Picker channel. It was this channel where you guys out there watching this channel made me feel secure enough that people enjoyed this kind of reselling and they would like to watch it and could have people that would come and watch this show every single day. It opened up avenues to do, you know, talk about SupplyHut and SupplyHut.com, code Commonwealth, 5% off, and American Bubble Boy and my reseller Genie and all the things that help bring in a little extra money all the time. It was this channel that did that, and I really didn't have plans on changing reselling too much. I wanted to ramp it up, and we have ramped it up. So we are, let's just say, significant. I don't want to give the wrong impression. Let's talk numbers. Okay, so the gross number is over 6 digits a year. And, you know, fairly easily over 6 digits a year. And we've talked about percentages, and a lot of you know your percentages out there. We buy stuff dirt cheap, y'all. Dirt cheap. I mean, you've seen me buy it out there. And so our profit margins are, I mean, some items are 60% after fees. You know, so, you know, even after shipping. So it can be, you know, 30, 40, 50, 60%. And so you can kind of do the math. But we also make more sales that this person didn't even talk about. You know, we have, let's see, one Bonanza sale headed out of here today, but I also have another one that just came across that will ship out in the next couple of days. There's $50 right there. Earlier this year, or not this year, last year, we made $900 sale on Bonanza. We did one of those shade things as well, sold one of those. That's like $400 and something. I make local sales, not a ton, but I do make some local sales. We did a whatnot last year, which made us a decent amount. We don't really do whatnot. We're going to do one a year is where we're at right now. And that I sell some wholesale stuff. I don't often talk about it, but if you notice, you see me pick up video game consoles all the time, garage sales. And I pick up bunches and bunches, but you never see me sell them in here. It's because I don't. I package them up. I have a ton right now I need to get rid of, but I sell them off bulk wholesale, just way quicker. It's not as much money, but I can make, you know, a quick buck on those as opposed to reselling them. I think maybe this year we're going to start to sell them individually in here like we used to do because there is more money. And so there are other outlets for resale. Of course, we have the antique booth, but I've basically turned that over to my dad at this point. So, you know, I like to say this because I don't teach people to become full-time resellers, because if I did, I wouldn't teach them how to do it this way. It's not easy. But if you live in a household, you know, maybe one spouse makes 100 grand a year, 200 grand a year, and the other one's working 40 hours a week and making 30, man, just stay home. You can make that in your sleep. So, I don't know. Let me know. I probably said some things to upset some people out there, but let's just say that it's fairly darn easy to look at the numbers and see over $50,000 in profit just without even batting an eye. I think that's pretty clear. So hopefully I've cleared that up for y'all out there, and I suppose this will create more questions than anything else, but that's where we're at, and that's where I plan on. My goal, my hope, whether that's next year, the year after, is to make a net income off of reselling that is over $100,000 a year. Not quite there yet, but I hope to get there. I think if I put 40 hours a week into reselling, which many of you out there put in 50, 60 hours a week. I think if I did that and stopped shutting the store down, you know, every other week, I think we could fairly easily get there, and maybe we will. We'll see. $7 plus shipping for those earrings. One way to not increase those numbers is to keep selling this stuff. And my goal is to also I'm going to always sell this stuff just because it's me. It's just what I do, and there's so many hobby sellers out there that they like to see this stuff. Super easy, right? This is from a backgammon set. They're checkers. They're like marbled checkers. They're plastic. They're not Bakelite or anything. So for $6. So there you go. Huge money, right? So I don't get yelled at. Today's numbers, not what's going out of here. I already talked about that. 600 and what did I say? $661 plus the Bonanza sale, which I'll talk about in a minute. But today's numbers, $372.06. So there you go. All right, let's see. This one here, those... Well, you'll read it and you'll know what I'm talking about. I never even play backgammon. I just wanted to support your channel and buy a little souvenir from you. Been watching your videos for a good while, and I aspire to be organized as you are. I just wanted to ask you, do you sell on any other platforms like Amazon, Etsy? I'd love to be mentioned in one of your videos. Well, there you go. Errol. Is that your name, Errol? Okay, very cool. Sphere of Goods is the eBay ID there. So yes, and I've just mentioned some of those right there, but I did for a while, would cross post, and I probably will start doing that again, but it is difficult to keep up with because of all the other stuff we're doing, and I don't know. My goal was to start it by the end of January, and I didn't, so we'll see, because I think that especially Poshmark, a little bit of Mercari, which is what we used to do. We used to sell on both of those, if you remember. Might be what we do. So I guess we'll see. I don't do Amazon. I haven't for a while. I did for a while, but I haven't for a while. And I don't do Etsy. which I'm kind of intrigued to do Etsy a little bit, but we'll see. So Nanaman, right there. And prices are going down a little bit. I think it's because it might have ended during the Super Bowl and the price was down. That's a great time to buy things on auction, by the way. It's during major events. People accidentally post stuff to end, and I did. I bought something, but I'm going to share it with you later. And that one went to a viewer. No message on the purchase, but I did track one down in the messages, which sometimes I'm not able to do. So many new folks to the channel lately. If you don't know what the heck the Enaman is at, you can go check out this video. And if you want to know my story a little bit more in depth, you can check out the I Quit video as well in there. So, at any rate, and we also have the Enema Min, Commonwealth Picker Enema Min. Over there, you can get that at commonwealthpicker.com. But this one went to Randy, and he says, I'm excited to finally win an Enaman. It will be a great addition to my CWP Enaman, the blue one, way cheaper, by the way, and my Death Pile Support Pig in C Flipper. I'm a part-time seller and have learned so much from watching your videos. Thanks for sharing your knowledge. Appreciate that. And that's kind of the thing, right? I learn from people who watch this show. You know, I often talk about Reseller Information Network and all the people I admire. And I interview, almost every interview I do is of somebody who's a full-time reseller who doesn't depend on massive amounts of income from other places. And it's because I really don't feel I can speak with complete, you know, authority on full-time stuff and the stress that some people go through out there and the way that they do reselling, because I'm doing it differently. Now I've done it for almost 22 years at this point. Maybe it is 22 years at this point. I think it is. And so I do have some experience, and hopefully I can share it with experienced people and not experienced people. But the reality is we all do it a little bit different, and that's just fine. Sold some men's jeans here. Have been selling those a little bit more than we have in the past. It used to be one of my main staples. I've said before, I paid for my wife's wedding ring selling nothing but jeans. Every time I sold a pair of jeans, I would put that profit aside till I could afford her wedding ring. And these sold for $22 plus shipping. And we usually ship them out in this right here or this right here, which is much easier. 22 bucks plus shipping. Thank you to Alan for buying plans for the Commonwealth Picker shipping table over on commonwealthpicker.com. Speaking of those jeans and that specific reason I was reselling jeans, that's always a good question. Is there anybody out there, I know there are, that resell for one particular reason, where they take all the money and they put it over to this, maybe an extra retirement fund, or I just sold something. Or maybe it's for their college education, or maybe it's, you know, like I said, to retire early. Maybe it's just for vacations. Maybe it's to pay off debt. Maybe it's for, you know, whatever it is. If you do something for a specific economic goal and you just try to reach it for that reason, or just pile it up for that reason, let me know that below. Those are the people I'm really trying to reach as well, because, you know, that's hobbyist resale. It's a great habit to have, right? A lot of people have terrible habits like gambling all their money away, or, you know, drinking, or whatever it is, that it takes money from you. This is a habit that you can enjoy and that gives you money. This video is going to be the longest video of all time if I keep going off on these rabbit trails. Rabbit trails like you, huh? All right, we got Wallen in here being a good dog. I shouldn't have said something. Now you're up. All right. You've been wearing them out outside, haven't you? Riding your little, what do you call that thing around? A hoverboard?
Hoverboard, but like, what do you call the other thing that
I don't know. It's kind of like a adapted like scooter thing. Yeah. I don't even know what. Here's your sale for the day. This is the school. See, if you're as old as me, this is the school desk we used to have when we were kids. A little chalkboard right here. Actually, we didn't. I mean, I did. I played with this, but it wasn't actually my school desk. Got these little things that come out, and you learn your numbers, and you got some of the letters, although it's missing a bunch. And you can put your pencils and stuff in here. What do you think of that? $26, I think, plus shipping. $26.13 plus shipping right there. Did your mama set your lesson out today? Did she set your math stuff out?
She's on.
She hasn't yet? Oh, she's slacking. So we'll have to make sure you get your math stuff out. It's math day today, isn't it, buddy? You can do math on here. Maybe we should bring this upstairs. You get a little piece of chalk. Have you ever written on a chalkboard?
Yeah.
You have?
Yeah, not I don't usually.
Okay. It's like a thing of the past.
Much,
We're going to ignore this dog over here being so good. Anyway, that's definitely enough money for you to do what?
Save $1, spend $1, and donate $1. Bye.
This is a pumpkin, a Scream Bud Light pumpkin. And it sold for $23.75 plus shipping. It is over a pound. It will more than likely be shipped out in this, but this isn't always the default. Sometimes you can get it to ship out cheaper just putting it in this, because if it's closer, this item isn't always the best. Actually, you know what? I take it back. It is going to fit in one of these. That's even 50 cents cheaper than that. Just grabbed this one right here, and this is a Bonanza sale, and I was mistaken when I said I had one headed out of here today. I have two headed out of here today. Both of these are both Bonanza sales, and I have one more Bonanza sale that happened today that I'm not going to ship out today. And this one is this Bible here. What is it called? Quiet Strength Tyndale Bible. And it's got a little damage, but it's not too bad. It's like $14.40, and this is $18.80 for this Ping G 22 hybrid cover. So that's not too bad right there. A couple of small Bonanza sales. I'll take them. Sold some more of this Jaeger's liniment. Two more left. It's been selling crazy good. And it sold for how much are we selling this stuff for? I don't know. $10 plus shipping. And we've sold quite a bit of it. This one went out to our buddy Keith. Keith in Minnesota, who gave us this. So thank y'all. We do appreciate it, Keith. As always, you're awesome. In addition to the two club head covers we've already sold, we sold 5 more. Various prices. I think this is the best one. Coming in over at $22, something like that. $75 total for those 5 different head covers to 5 different people.
Hi guys, my name is Reagan, and we're going to be seeing what's sold out of the CWP store today. First we have Ryan, and he is from Indiana and got a tumbler, and Jacob got an Animal Man, and his YouTube channel is Lower Alabama Picker, and his eBay is Drop Contender. I think that's what it is. I can't read Dad's handwriting, but alright guys, thank you so much, and don't forget to get your sticker at CommonwealthPicker.com.
Yeah, I just have to show you this really quick. This came from my buddy Chad from up Minnesota. You may remember, some of you may remember, that we did a video up there. I was up there for VCon with my oldest boy, having just a good time together. And thank you, by the way, Chad, for your kind message. And I put a message out on Instagram. I'm like, hey, my phone's going off again. What is this? Oh, there you go. It was to remind me to ship out the Bonanza items. Sometimes I'll forget because I'm looking on eBay all the time. Anyway, Chad said that he would be happy to take us out yard selling while we're up in Minnesota. I'm like, sweet. And he did. He drove us around. He was so kind that day. And look at what he sent us. I used to have that big. This is not the first run big, but I used to have it, and I kind of regret selling it before I decided that I was going to start collecting sealed VHS because I'm crazy. And he sent me one, so thank you. That is not the original, but it is still cool. It's going to go in my collection. That is very, very nice of you. And thank you for the very kind message as well. Y'all can read that if you pause it. And this sticker is going to go up. So I'm having a hard time when I only get one sticker now. I got to decide which shed I'm going to put it in. The SupplyHut out there, or if I'm going to put it here. So I guess we'll find out. Thank you so much, Chad. Maybe we'll run into each other someday again soon. Hey, you have some crazy good sales in here too. Well, not too many, but this one I think is cool because we got a bunch of these. Virginia Tech, this is a team jersey, an actual team jersey. It has no name on it, but some do that we have. And it was, you could tell it's, I mean, this thing would be a dress. It's literally past my knees, which screams an actual team jersey. Plus it's Nike team, which is typically what they did back then, which isn't too long ago, I guess. Size 48, length +4. And these are legit Virginia Tech jerseys. I can't wait to show you this video where we got these. Super cheap. We're going to make a bunch of money on them. This one is one of the lower end ones, I think. $45 for it. Absolute miracle we sold this right here. These are the very last. Some of you go way back. You remember these. I didn't even know I still had one. Sold for $5. It's a aircraft profile A7AE Corsair 2. Fully loaded on that picture. Check that out. Ready to shoot down some balloons. $239. Oh, number 239. $5 plus shipping. Sold this Christmas ornament right here, Zero, from Nightmare Before Christmas. Retail arbitrage brought by from Blue Ridge Mama at $9.50 plus shipping. Had to walk into the closet room to grab this one. I forgot to pick it out. Picked this one up down in Greenville, I think. Is where we got this with Dave and Troy, Man Treasure, and Eric OBX. All you guys are down there. And I picked it up. It's an Ed Hardy shirt. And I thought, you know, it's bedazzled, right? You got to get that. Didn't sell for much, but we didn't pay much. $14.50 plus shipping. And almost forgot this little Dutch girl windmill Duro decal. And I had to look to see where it was going, because I grew up in a little place in California that had a little Dutch community as well. Had Hollandaise and stuff. I wasn't Dutch. This little school I went to for a couple of years, little Christian, like Reformed school. Well, not Reformed. You get the point. And I was like a fish out of water there, because all these people were named Vander or something, you know. And I'm this little guy named Brown, and the girls are like this tall. Like, geez, all the teachers had a Dutch last name. I'm like, I wonder if that's going there. It doesn't surprise me, though, that it was going to Michigan. Michigan with a big population of, I think, this is something we used to study, and we talk about diasporas and where people went and why they went there. And, of course, the Dutch they went to a bunch of places all over the world. The 17th, 18th century, you know, the explorers and whatnot, South Africa, of course. And they ended up migrating in the 19th century to the United States after World War II as well. And they went to Michigan, and they went to Iowa, I think Sioux City, huge, Dordt University. And I think that's where a lot of the teachers that taught me when I was little for those couple of years came from, or Calvin University, Calvin College. What's that? What is that? University, I think, and that's Grand Rapids in Michigan. So it doesn't surprise me. I think there's a big population in Wisconsin as well. So none of that surprises me too much, and that's where it's headed. And I don't remember what it sold for. It sold for $12 plus shipping, and we have 3 of those, but just one headed out of here today. So. Anyway, I'm going to end the video out there in the supply hut. All right, y'all, sorry for the mess in here right now, but I wanted to tell Chad we're going to put his sticker in here. Also wanted to thank a bunch of people, including Charlie over at Supply Hut, but also for all the other people. We finally have figured something out in here to thank all the people that contributed, you know, buy me a piece of the shed, whether it was $1, $2, $100, whatever it was, the people that contributed buying Anima Men and stuff to make the Supply Hut possible. Charlie gave us quite a bit to help us out. Charlie, thank you so much for your support. But it was really time to thank everybody else who makes this all possible, which is you guys out there. We really do appreciate you very much. And so we've had this made up, and it's going to do for now. We might do something different later, but Bubba's girlfriend made this up for me. And we're going to hang it up somewhere in here, and you're going to have to figure out and maybe tell me where. Right here, and it's not quite straight in the frame, so we got to fix that. But it's this YouTube button, and sorry if your name is big here. I saw, you know, Jenna and Tiffany and Sandy, and some of you get your name in here twice because they had to fit it all in. But some of the smaller ones, there's Troy, you know, Mountain Man Treasures in here, and I saw Dan in Demand, which is now, or was Dan Art Vandelay. And lots of little ones here as well. Very hard to see some of them, so it was kind of a catch-all. Some of them are bigger than others. We might make 2 or 3 of them and make some other people's bigger down the road or do some different things. But maybe you can see some of your names in there. Peggy and Stephanie, and let's see. There's a few more. Fryer family, and there's duplicates, but there's some full flavor, retro, the masked picker, Keith, of course, is in there, and many more. So we'll go through. We'll probably make another one of those at some point, much bigger. Maybe put it here. I'm not quite sure, but we'll do something. I figured that would do for now. As a thank you, we'll have to figure out where we're going to put it. I don't know. What do y'all think? I was thinking maybe right there for now, although we could put it over here, like right here. Boy, we've got a mess in here. Reagan has been working quite a bit in here lately. I'm really proud of her, by the way, if you can't tell. I turn the light on back here. And we're going to put this right here. I think that's probably where it'll go. And also another big giant thank you to Charlie, because he is now the sponsor of, the big sponsor. We've got a few sponsors, but the headline sponsor, if you will, of the Trash to Cash podcast. Charlie, thank you so much. So if you guys get a minute to use SupplyHut.com, use code Commonwealth, 5% off. Or now you can use code Trash to Cash, maybe, I think, something like that. And anyway, thank you, Charlie, and thank you to all of you as always for joining us, and we can't wait to see you next